Well, hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Rider Ramblings. I thought I might do something a bit different today because it's raining, if you hadn't noticed. And I thought I might just discuss riding in the rain, as some people live in areas where there isn't much rain. So, the first thing about rain is most motorcycles are designed to ride in the rain and in inclement weather. So it really doesn't matter what motorcycle you have, it should be able to ride in, or you should be able to ride it in the rain. My mirror isn't straight on the right hand side. Okay. Now, so that's the first thing. Now, the second thing is, are you prepared to ride in the rain? If you're in jeans and a t-shirt, then you probably, unless the temperature is up in the hundreds, or that's Fahrenheit, or mid-30s Celsius, then you're going to be exceptionally uncomfortable and you're going to be very distracted by the conditions. So if you know it's going to rain, or you think it might rain, just wondering what this blue car's doing. Take waterproof gear with you. Now, as you can see, you can accelerate quite hard in the rain, provided you take a few things into account. So, I'm in full waterproof gear. I'm wearing the full face helmet. I have a pin lock visor, so the visor is not likely to steam up. And the other thing is, I have the vents open on my helmet, all of them. And that is quite important, actually. Make sure the vents on your helmet are open. I don't really care how cold it is. Because if you do have the vents open, then your visor is not going to steam up quite so quickly if you don't have a pin lock visor. Okay, so make sure the vents are open, and you'll notice it's not locked down, it just clicks up and down. If you're doing motorway speeds, then you can click it down, but at ordinary speeds, this wind's a bit fierce. Just hold a moment while I try and balance the bike in the wind. Okay, so make sure you're wearing the right kit. Very important. The next thing is, what type of tyres do you have on your bike? If you're doing a track day and your bike has slicks, then you're in trouble, because basically there will be no grip on the road from the moment your tyres cool down, which will be very, very quickly after the rain starts. So make sure your bike is wearing the right tyres. So not only you have to wear the right clothing, your bike has to have the right tyres, ones that will be suitable for riding in the rain. Now, most road tyres have grooves in them, but, and this is a big but, some of them are mainly basically slicks with a few grooves, and others are full-blown rain tyres, and some are off-road tyres and that type of thing. You need a tyre that has suitable grooves. We call them sipes, and the sipes are there to remove the water from under the tyre, so the rubber is actually running on dry surface. If the sipes don't cover the whole of the surface of the tyre, then basically your rubber is not on a dry surface, and you're going to start aquaplaning. So you need to make sure that the sipes on your tyre are okay, and that you have sufficient of them. I mean, if you are going to ride on a tyre which doesn't have many grooves or is mainly a dry weather tyre, then I would strongly recommend that you slow down very considerably. Okay, and when I mean very considerably, it very much depends on the type of road you're on, the road surface, and the number of curves and that type of thing, bends, as to how slow you go. But if it's basically a dry weather tyre with a few grooves in it, then you want to think that the chances of aquaplaning are quite high. Now, the tyre that I have, or the tyres that I have on here, are commuting tyres, and they're designed so that you can commute in all weathers except possibly ice. So this means that I can actually ride in town very similarly to how I would ride normally. I don't really have to slow down, and I don't have to think about what am I doing, and I have no idea what's going on here. Why have we got a problem? So, as you can see, now the other problem you've got are white lines. White lines are, in general, slippery. You should not be braking on white lines. And if possible, you should try not to lean over, i.e. turn on white lines, because they are slippery, and the back end and or the front end are going to slide. I have no idea what this guy in the Mini is doing. I don't think he does either. Okay, so it doesn't matter what type of white line. You'll see I've tried to avoid the arrow on the road, and I've lined the bike up so I'm on the tarmac on the zebra crossing, not the white line. Okay, and so you need to ride with that in mind. So the next thing is, how fast or how slow can you go? Well, that very much depends on the road surface and the tyre that you're running. If you watch Grand Prix motorcycles, they've got wet weather tyres which have unbelievable number of sipes in them, way more than a normal road tyre, and they clear gallons, and I do mean gallons of water, as they roll every second. Okay? Now, you don't have that, I don't have that. Most race tyres are not homologated for road use, so you can't use them on the roads. Okay, now you may have noticed that I'm not braking quite as hard, and I'm not necessarily accelerating quite as hard. But I'm driving more or less as I normally would in the town. I'm not really making any changes. Now what you do have to watch out for, and this is something which is a bit difficult, and that's oil and diesel on the road, because you mix oil and diesel with water and you're on ice. There is absolutely no grip. It doesn't matter how many sipes you have or anything like that. The grip just disappears completely. It's just not there. So you've got to pay attention to the road surface ahead of you. That doesn't mean the road surface in front of your tyre, your front tyre. That means the road surface some distance ahead of you, so that you can actually avoid it. Now that's, you can see I had white lines on the road there as I was turning, so I deliberately didn't lean the bike as far as I normally would there. Okay, this is a bad bit of road actually, and we have the same here. Oops, I'm talking and not paying attention. Okay, but I'm more or less riding as I would, just not quite as leaned over as far when I take the corners where the zebra crossings are on the corners. Okay, so you probably want to know how much you should slow down, and that unfortunately is a bit like asking how long is a piece of string, because it very much depends on how much rain is coming down, how wet the road is, what tyres you have on, okay, and is there any oil on the road. Now if there's oil on the road, even if you're going in a straight line, the chances of you coming off are extremely high. This has happened to me, so I am well aware of this, and I have a damaged shoulder because I hit diesel in the rain on Park Lane in London quite a lot of years ago. I damaged my shoulder, and it's definitely not very good. As you can see, I'm braking normally. I'm not taking it much easier than I would. I'm driving at normal speeds, but that's normal speeds for the town, and because I've got tyres that can handle this type of weather and these type of conditions. So if you want to know how fast you can ride, well, it very much depends on that. You need to know about your tyres, your conditions, the white lines, the oil, and things like that. Anyhow, thank you for watching. I will see you next time.